This is the Above Average Podcast, and you are listening because you want an above average life. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Above Average Podcast, the podcast where we talk to above average people about their above average lives. Now, my guest today is an actress, filmmaker and producer from South Shields on the home turf today, whose career has gone in many different directions, from early TV appearances in Byker Grove and The Dumping Ground, to girl groups and The X Factor, to independent films, Coronation Street, and now co-founding her own production company, Nana Peg. So she's passionate about working class representation, honest northern storytelling, and creating opportunities outside the London bubble. And if anyone's watched this before, you'll know I have a distaste for London. We're going to talk about acting, vulnerability, film roles, and the reality of the industry, and whether TV audiences have changed over the last decade. So I'm excited to get into it. Please welcome Libby Walker to the show. How are you this morning?
I'm okay, you know. Yeah. We had my boyfriend's son's rugby presentation last night. So
awesome. How did it go?
She was very exhausted. It's a lot. 14-year-old boys are a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine. I don't miss being one.
No.
I remember the stress. But talking about the teenagers, so well, let's take it back a little bit for you. So when you were growing up, did the creativity side of life, because obviously you're a big creative now, like was that encouraged around you growing up, or was it like grow up, get a typical 9 to 5 kind of attitude?
So it's actually really funny because my mum, I was so painfully shy, which anybody who knows me would be like, girl, no, you're not shy. Like, what is shy about you? But when I was young, I was so painfully shy that my mum took me to a drama club, the Westovians, and I was so scared. Like, I was literally, I hated it. I hated public speaking. I hated being around loads of people all the time. I felt like I was quite introverted. Yeah. But she made us go, and like I think that's where it all began. And then I got a thirst for, and also I'm quite competitive. Okay. So when people were getting like lead parts, I was like, that'll be my part next.
I'm an introvert, but I will fight you at the same time.
Yeah, I will kill you for that role. So yes, that's where it all began. But then, funnily enough, when you get older and then you go to drama school and whatever, and then you leave and your parents see the struggle, they don't understand, like, first of all, they don't understand freelance lifestyle at all. They're like, what on earth is this? Yeah. And it just, obviously it comes from a place of care, and they're really supportive and they love what I do, and they'll always be there and they'll help us out when they can. Yeah. But also they would ring us and be like, so, there's a job going at the library. Do you want that?
Or, keep it safe.
Yeah, and they'd ring us and be like, so what are you doing for work today? And I'm like, oh, well, I don't need to work today, ma'am, because I've worked like 10 weeks solidly without a day off. So now I get to have a day off today, or see what works around that I want to take. And it's just like such a wild concept for them.
Yeah, they don't understand. People still look at my job now and they're like, so what do you actually do? And I'm like, I don't know what I do. I just do bits and pieces. Like the other day I was filming in a butcher's. Like that's my job. Like I was in Ireland the week before filming, and then now I was in a random butcher's in Shields. So I get it. But it's fun. It keeps it entertaining for you as well.
Yeah,
even though people are so used to the mundane, for you it's like, well, I probably couldn't live that life. Was that a life that you never wanted? You didn't want to live that mundane life, or could you have gone either way?
I feel like from a very young age I knew what I didn't want, if that makes sense. And I knew that I wanted more than staying in one place my whole life. Yeah. I knew there was so much out there, and I think maybe because when I was little I was such a bookworm. I was basically Matilda, and I would go through books and books and books. And,
nice.
And I'd be like, wow, the world's so big. I just want to go and explore. So I knew that I wanted to move to London, like from a very early age. Like I'm talking like maybe like 12.
Yeah, big city life kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's what when we were spoke on the phone, we were saying like obviously the London bubble, like it was quite. People down there believe that they can be stars, whereas up here it's kind of like, what are you doing that for? Like, what's the point, kind of thing? Like, get a trade. So, but I'm curious actually, because obviously acting, obviously you went to drama school. When did the dancing side of things pick up for you? Was that around the same time?
So basically, what had happened was one of my best friends at the time, Jennifer Davison. She was an incredible dancer, and she used to win like everything, like all the championships and whatever. And she'd said, oh, why don't you come with me to London? I'm doing this like summer school thing for Lane Theatre Arts. So why don't you come and see how you get on? And so I went there, but I dabbled in dance when I was younger, because my mum was like, oh, you'd love it. And I think my mum always wanted to dance, but I didn't really like it. I don't know. I think because now looking back, I think I've got a lot of ADHD actually. And so I'd get bored. If I'd learned something already and I'd picked something up, I'd just get so bored waiting for everybody else, and I'd be like, oh, this...
Like, catch up, losers.
Yeah, this is not for me. Do you know what I mean? And so, so I'd lost like a passion for that. I'd be like, Mum, I don't want to go. And so when I went there, and I'd never done ballet before. I'd done tap, modern, and disco.
Nice. Yeah.
But they were very much like, if you want to do this as a profession, you have to do ballet. And I was like, all right, well, I've never done ballet before. So then off I went, and then I started ballet quite old at like 16, and everybody else starts when they're 2.
Yeah.
So then I had to work my little ovaries off to like catch up with everyone else, but I enjoyed it, and I loved going and seeing like how much I progress the next week. And then so that's where the dancing came into it. And then by accident I got really good at the dancing, so that actors would be like, you're a dancer now. Yeah. Because it's quite segregated. Some people think in America you can do whatever you want. Yeah. You can be a triple threat, but triple threats over here, sometimes they like try and box you really early on. You're a singer, you're a dancer, you're an actor. If you go to this school, you're a dancer. If you go to this school, you're serious about musical theatre. Right, yeah. I don't know where I was going with that.
No, I love it. So obviously, going back to what we said before about the London bubble, right? Because I'm really curious, when did you notice that difference in attitude? Was it as soon as you kind of got down there to London, or was it kind of like, did it take a few months before you were like, people down here are really more open to this than back home?
No, I think it's not like that they're more open. It's just more normalised. So it's so normal for like friends or family to have been involved in the arts somehow or some way, or like it's so normal for people to be crew, for example. Like that's such a normal job. Yeah. Like if you look at the grip department, they're like tradies. Like that is their job. They just do it on set, and they do it on set for a great amount of money. So one of my passions is, educating lads up here to be like, look, you don't have to work offshore. Yeah. Or you've got these skills, so you can choose it, but there's no infrastructure up here. So that's another thing that, the North East Screen are really fighting for as well, and Screen Alliance North, to really rally round and try and drum up the infrastructure collectively to give people more options and to normalise a life in film.
Yeah. Because it's only since doing this podcast that I've really started to talk to people who were on TV. Like before that, I'd never met anyone who'd done like even just an advert. Like even as, like the little babies adverts and stuff like that. I'd never met anyone that'd done something like that as a kid. And it's been really interesting to hear the ins and outs of how the attitudes change the further down the country you go, into the bigger cities as well. Did you ever feel embarrassed? Was there ever a point where you were talking about being an actress or whatever, where you felt embarrassed to mention that, with it being such like a kind of, given the attitude up here?
Sometimes I get shy about it now, still, because I've moved home. Like if people, and I, like last night even, there was a guy across the table from us, and they were asking my partner what he did, and I was thinking, please don't ask me, because I hate it. I feel like people receive it as being boastful.
Yes. Oh, I'm an actor.
Yeah. So sometimes I'm just like, I work at reception. Yeah. I just don't like it.
Do you think there'll be a point where you own that though? Do you think it'll come to a point where you're like, I am an actress. Yes, I do this. Yes. Not in that way. You don't have to say it in such a weird way, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Because for me, my personal experience was obviously I started doing motivational stuff probably about 10 years ago. And I just got really into it and hooked on how it made me feel. So I wanted to do it myself. And I'd start posting things on Facebook, and people were like, why are you posting this shit? Like, what do you think you're doing? And then it got to a point where I started making videos, and like, well, now you're just embarrassing yourself. Like, you're not going to be able to make this into anything. Oh. And then eventually it got to a point where it was like, I get it now. You've done it for that long. That's what people associate you with. Like, you haven't just dipped your toe in and then backed away, and people have went, that wasn't you. It's like, if you've stuck with it, eventually people just go, oh, well, you are an actress.
Yeah, that's what you do now. This is what I know you as.
Yeah. And it becomes like a part of your identity almost. But it takes a while for people to make that shift with you.
Yeah. I have actually noticed a shift, like, in my friends from up here. So before, when I was like at drama school and stuff, and I used to come back just for like holidays and things, and I remember very, like, specifically one friend had said, oh, this is Libby, like, she thinks she's an actor or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay. But like now that person is so supportive. And it's like, I'm loving what you're doing. And so that's really nice to see.
Yeah, well, it's the same for me. They go from like, oh, he makes staff videos on YouTube to like, oh, he's got a podcast. You know what I mean? That flip takes a while, and sometimes it's like, I think other people sometimes see that before you do. Because if she'd said to you, oh, this is Libby, she's an actress, you would have been like, oh, I am. Do you know what I mean? Rather than like she met that where you were at kind of thing.
Yeah, which is weird as well, because I'm a big advocate for, you are an actor, even if you have to get a muggle job.
Yeah.
But you have to make sure you do something like on a daily basis or even a weekly basis that still grounds you into your creativity, so that you can say, no, I am an actor.
Yeah.
But I think, obviously I'm quite open with other people that I meet who are open to creativity, but I'm also very sensitive to energies and reading a room. So I know where it would be appropriate to say those things, or where other people might read it as being a certain type of way for whatever reason. But yeah, it is funny when you post stuff on social media, you know, you're talking about the motivational things, because I get people sliding into my DMs all the time being like, Libby, I love your Instagram, it's so jokes, because I'll just post like memes or like, you know, if you're having a bad day, like stuff like not necessarily motivational, but like inspiring things. And some people just slide at me DMs and be like, I really needed that today, thank you. So like I'll still keep doing it, even though people will be like, no, you need to work more on your social media. But I'm like, yeah, but do I though? Because people love it when I post stuff like that.
I think it went from a stage, social media went from a stage of where people really wanted to see the professional stuff, like they wanted to see the highlight reel and stuff like that. Now it's flipped, and people want to see you just, you know, like raw. No makeup, looking raw. Like they just want to see that authentic side, because it's been missing for so long. And now they're like, oh, we need that back. So even I've had to change mine. Like I would just share photos from podcasts or the clips or whatever and make it look really professional. But then when I share a meme about being bald, people are like, oh, I love this. And it gets the most reaction out of anything. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. Like, I guess I'll share memes more often. But it is that authentic side that people are missing. So as long as you keep that, I think it'll stop people going, diva actress. Do you know what I mean? Like, or...
No, I'm not frightened of them saying diva actress. I just think
like, bring it on.
Some other societies are like, what are you doing?
So when did the X Factor chapter of your life begin? When did you decide to form a girl band? Whose idea was it, and how did that come together?
Oh my god, so X Factor was so jokes. So it was basically I was at Newcastle College, big up Newcastle College, and we're doing the musical theatre course, and we used to go home and would be like, oh god, look at these losers on X Factor, like we could do much better than that. So then one day, for a joke, one of the girls was like, guys, I found out like there's an X Factor audition in Glasgow, and one day for a joke we were like, Shall we do it? Well, what will we do? Well, we'll just say like we're a girl band.
Oh, so you weren't actually a band before this?
And we'll just go up. No, we're just like pals. So my friend Carly borrowed our mum's car, and we're all squashed in this car, all five of us, and we drove up to, I think it was either Glasgow or Edinburgh, the first heat was, and we hadn't even registered. And we just turned up and we bypassed all the queue, because all the queue was for solo singers, and bands could just walk through, because we were well struggling for bands. And we were like, oh, you mustn't have got our registration. I don't know, maybe we lost the form. They're like, no, just go in. And then by accident, we ended up getting through. And we were like, oh, shit. Well, because
it's funny that you got through on a joke. Like, you just
on a joke. But then also we were in pure Scotland, and we had no clean knickers, nothing. And we're like, and then Carly's mum needed her car back. And we were like, oh, shit, we're going to have to tell them where we are, because also we bunked off college to do it.
Nice.
So, and they were like, where's everyone? So we had to ring them and be like, so by accident we went up to Scotland, and now we got through the first round of the X Factor, and we had to go to get them to send one money so we could go to Primark and buy like fresh pants. So that was, and then find a hotel. Could you imagine your parents? I mean, we're quite young.
How old would you been in college? Like 17,
well, the
18,
youngest of us was 17 was 17.
Right.
17, yeah. I don't know why I said 15. 17, we was 19.
Yeah, because it was Emily, Carly, Faye, Katie, and yourself.
Yeah.
Right? So who came up with the name Desire?
We really struggled. So we were just on the metro on the way to college.
You made... Oh, okay. So I was going to say, you didn't make the name up of the band on the way to the X Factor audition. That would have been funny.
We're like, what can we be called? And then we looked out the metro window, and, you know, Debenhams used to be there. And Desire by Debenhams was their clothing range.
Okay.
And we were like, oh, Desire. Yeah, we'll just... guys, we'll just go with Desire. Everyone up for that? Yeah, whatever. I can't think of a better one.
It's a patchwork journey. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it because you obviously when you see the footage of the X Factor and stuff like that, and there's always when they're interviewing them before they go on stage, it's like, oh yeah, we've been mates since early primary school. We started singing together. We did local pubs, and you guys were just like, should we just fucking do it for the laugh,
for jokes. Yeah, and we were like, oh, this joke's gone too far.
But you guys got pretty far as well. Like you got to the judges' houses and stuff like that. So what was fill in the rest of the journey for us?
So you have to do like 4 producer rounds before you even get to see the judges. Mm-hmm. And then it'll be like weeks. I'm giving like all the top tea now. So it'll be like weeks until you see the judges. And then you've obviously got to wear all the same clothes for continuity and whatever.
Oh, okay.
And then that heat, I think, was like, I want to say it was like in Birmingham. There were so many places. Glasgow, Edinburgh, Birmingham. Yeah. So then we went in to see the judges, obviously not expecting to get through.
Yeah.
And then we got 4 yeses. Simon absolutely loved us. Cheryl loved us. The only one that was a bit like, was Louis.
Okay.
Then we did boot camp. You go to London for like, I want to say a week and a half, maybe, and they put you up in a hotel. But it's brutal. So this is what people miss. Like, everyone's like, why is everyone crying and stuff all the time? It's because you've got no sleep.
Yeah.
And it's so intense. So it's like you sit every day, all day, watching everybody else's audition, and everybody get picked off one by one, like all the soloists, all the groups, all the over 25s, whatever, until it's like your turn. And then you'll get challenges given to you for like the next round, or they'll be like, we're going to put a challenge on you, or you'll be on the stage, for example, and they'll go, right, we're culling you by 50%. And you just stood there, and they're just, all this is thrown at you like a surprise. So you'll get, I remember this one time we got sent, right, you've got a challenge and you've got to do it tomorrow morning. Well, the bus picks you up at like 4 or 5 a.m. You don't wrap until about midnight, so you're not getting back to the hotel till 1. Then you've got to rehearse a song, get back on the bus for 4 or 5 in your full glamour, ready to be filmed again. I mean, it might have changed now because this was like early days of X Factor.
It's now probably worse now, I bet. It's probably much worse.
I think there's a lot more like things I have to abide by, and,
right, don't sleep deprived of stars. Yeah.
And so it was like all sleep deprivation, and it was like, right, you've got 2 minutes to go to the toilet, and everyone running to the toilet in their herds. But it also was so cool because now when you look back, like, I mean, we'd sit with Jade Thirlwell and her mum when she was auditioning, because she auditioned a few years before she was in Little Mix, and Liam, God rest his soul, Liam Payne, and his daddy. So that was our little crew, and then obviously look at what they've gone on to do, and they wanted us to be the next. Well, they wanted us to be Little Mix because Cheryl took us to the side one time, was like, look guys, this is what they want, and I really want you to do well because you're from my area. And she really took us under her wing. So
you could have been in Little Mix.
You
could have been Little Mix.
I know, but it makes us so proud that 2 girls from South Shields have gone on to do what they've done. It's like, big up Little Mix. I love them.
I love it. So how did it feel to be on television, just as a, as someone from the north of England? Because it's not very common to hear our accent on TV, other than, I think Cheryl Cole really pioneered it. But like, did people mention it to you a lot? Like, did it get brought up? How did it feel to see yourselves up there?
So actually, I'll tell you what happened from that. It was, and Cheryl did do a lot for this, but it was at that time where they wanted the Geordie accent so much because of Cheryl. And obviously Ant and Dec at the time was like in their prime as well. That when I graduated drama school the first time, instead of going to the West End, I was getting poached for like radio shows and like voiceovers and TV presenting instead of West End stuff. So when I was looking at my credits, I haven't really done a big West End show, because I went on to do like pilots for Capital Radio. I didn't do Heart. I did loads of BBC stuff. And like that was kind of like my journey, and I was so close to be like the Saturday morning show. And then all of a sudden they centralised the radio station, so they lost all the regional ones. So if I was like the next in line to get a job, I was then all of a sudden at the bottom of the pile because I had to honour people that were already part of the company and kind of replace them. So I was like, oh, here we go again. And then that ended the presenting chapter of my life because I was like, I ain't hustling this hard, and then now I'm at the bottom again. What else can I do?
I would love to do voiceover work, actually. I don't think I've got a very unique voice, but I think I can make it go up and down and do a lot of range and stuff like that. Range. But one of my favourites was I used to do, to my brother, I used to make him laugh when he was little, was, do you watch much Family Guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you remember wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube men?
Oh my god, that is a very specific memory.
And it was just like, I just loved the way it was said. It was like, wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man, wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man. And I loved doing that, and it just used to make my brother laugh. But I'd love to do something like that. I think it'd be great. But I don't know whether I can do it without the American accent to it. But
oh, my sister used to nail that one where it's like, hey there, mostly arms.
the
whistle.
Oh, what was he called? Was it Herbert?
Yeah.
The old man, aye. That little whistle, though, was so hard to do at the end. I love that. But if anyone's listening, I would love to do voiceover work, as would Libby as well.
Oh, yeah, please. I need the money. She's poor. Look at her nails.
Don't show them off. I haven't got mine done either. It's fine. But so the acting roles as well. So you were in Byker Grove as well. What do you remember about that experience? And were you nervous, excited, or were you thinking this was kind of your big break, I guess?
This is the thing with like TV. I never get nervous for TV. It's such a different experience than theatre. Like theatre, you can feel the energy in the room, and it's like all buzzy, and it's like, how do you channel that to give a performance instead of like just shitting your pants? But with TV, everyone's so chill. They look after you, they're kind, they're lovely. You know, you're taken to the set, and it was like, I was with an agency, it was Janet Plater. I think she's still quite big up here now. And I was with her agency when I was younger. I just got the part through that, but it was only a really small role. Mm-hmm. And also, I was very aware it was the final season. But I had another friend that had done it for years, Hazel, which was nice. So then I came in and she was like there, like waiting to do her. And it was like a classroom they had upstairs for all the kids, because they obviously had to do their schoolwork up there as well. Yeah, so that was really cool. So I knew that wasn't like a big
How old were you at this point,
thing.
by the way?
I think this would have been like 2006, I think. So last year, senior.
I'm asking you to do maths, I'm sorry.
Senior school. Oh, babe, sometimes I can't even remember how old I am.
Maths,
I'm constantly like, Eddie, to my boyfriend, Eddie, how old am I again? Can you just tell us? Oh, okay, that's old.
I turned 30 in March, and people are fond of reminding me that I'm now 30. Yeah. I know I look a lot older than 30.
Oh, girl, I'm 38.
You do not look 38.
Thank you, because my CV says like 28.
we'll cut that bit out.
That's my casting bracket.
Well, you can make up a stage name. You might as well have stage age as well.
Yeah,
why not?
No, it's true. They've took it off Spotlight now because you could play any character. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't have
Although I
to
do sometimes find it like when I watch Waterloo Road or something, and I'm like, that kid's like 27. Like it's a bit.
They
much
do that
sometimes. Yeah, it's a bit unrealistic. But yeah, but it's funny because when I had Steve Wraith on, who I believe you know as well, he was also in Byker Grove for the final season, and he was like a zombie in one thing and did like a load of other things. So I wonder if your paths ever crossed all the way back then as well.
I know, that would have been weird, wouldn't it? It's like sliding doors.
Yeah. So he might have been there while you were doing the things, just in another scene or another part of it, which is interesting.
I wonder if he still wore his Newcastle United strip.
Probably, yeah. He was probably trying to like push the Northeast back then as well, because he's a big believer in the Northeast sort of representation
I love
as well.
him.
So. Yeah. So what was the character you played on Byker Grove? Do you remember much about it?
It was literally just called the Fit Grover.
The Fit. Oh, yeah. Okay, right.
The Fit Grover.
Okay. Because you was like two guys fighting over you or something. Was that the
yeah.
plot? Okay.
I believe so. But I was so young back then, and they just went, right, this is your role. He has the script. This is what you're doing. I was like, all right, okay, go.
It sounds a bit strange, though, to be calling the kid the Fit Grover. That
Fit
sounds
Grover.
a bit strange.
It was the 2000s, babe.
You could get away with anything.
Hey, it was the 90s.
No wokeness back then, yeah. So, obviously, we said on the phone, but you said something interesting to me, actually, which is, you said acting's more about vulnerability than confidence, and I like that. So, how do you explain that to someone who's maybe not been in the acting world and knows very little about it?
So, when I went to Central, I learned like so much about acting, and it was really like explained in a different way than I'd ever heard before. And I think there's a profound difference between acting for screen and acting for stage.
Okay, yeah.
If you look at acting for stage, it's very much projected emotions. Do you know what I mean? So it's like everything's big and it's pushed. Like, this is how I'm feeling in this moment, so that the audience can go, I get it. Whereas TV acting, it's so magnified that if your feelings aren't authentic and they're not real, then if we look at how our body processes emotions, okay, I'm such a hippie now.
No, go for it.
Processes emotions and receives energy. It's like your body can tell that that's inauthentic before your brain even kicks in, because that's why you cry when you see other people crying, because it's inherent empathy for other humans, and that's how we learn, like as an animal, to keep safe. Or this is dangerous. I can tell because whoa, look at their energy. The heckles are up, and so you have to go deep into your pathways and like your triggers to make that believable, because if you believe it, everybody else is going to believe it. But it has to be at such a detailed level that if it's just confidence, like, yes, there's an element of I can do this job, but you've literally got to lay and be stripped bare and be able to be seen by the other person. There's a technique called Meisner where it's like you've got to sit one-on-one like we are now, and it really, really, really read each other without breaking eye contact, and be vulnerable to accept the calls that they're giving you.
It is interesting though, because I've done forms of meditation where you do literally just pick an eye and you just look at that person. I feel like I'm staring at your eyes now, but it is interesting because you start to feel something, but it's nothing's said, nothing's displayed. It's just a weird feeling, and it's hard to describe. And most people would say, like you said, like hippy dippy kind of stuff, but it is real and it does exist. So yeah. So in terms of, because bringing that up is like a, what's the word? Congruency. That your thoughts, words, actions are all aligned. So if one of those is off, you can really feel like there's something missing in the performance. Yeah. And I think, like, because people think, like, I had this, who was that one who? It was Peter McPherson, who's in Smoggy Queens.
Yeah, I know him. So he actually used to teach me when I was at London Studio Centre.
Awesome. I love him. I love his episodes so much. He was such a nice guy. But he was saying about, like, I've totally lost my train of thought. Where the fuck was I going with that?
Sorry, I bamboozled you.
No, but anyway, he was saying about like the side of acting and stuff that was like, you know, bringing that to the surface and stuff was just like, he was, you know, I've totally lost my train of thought. I'm not going to go there. But in terms of like the side of how people look at actors, let's go into. So how do you think people are viewing actors that are getting it wrong? Like, what kind of myths do people have about actors that are totally wrong? Because obviously we spoke about being a diva before and all that sort of stuff, which is totally, it's an old school Hollywood cliche. So do you think when people talk about acting and stuff like that, do they get something wrong when it comes to the people themselves?
I think maybe like I'm not privy to like what other people think about actors.
Okay.
But I would just say everybody that I know who's in the industry, and even really big stars, like, you know, they're just, your job is to relate to a human. And so you come with a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of empathy, because you have to empathise with your character, no matter what their background, no matter what they've done, so that you can relate to them, so you can play that story out authentically. Yeah. And so, and then you have to work with people. You continually, it's a huge collaboration between everyone. So you're working with all different people from different walks of life. So actually, a lot of actors are really humble, really kind, generous people. Like, I remember when it was lockdown, I did a lot of extras work, or like supporting artists is called, because there was nothing else happening other than filming, but all the roles were stuff that had already been contracted. So I was like, well, at least I'll be on set. And so I remember this one time I was so buzzing. It was like my birthday and I got to be on set with Olivia Colman. And I was like, wow. Nice. And it was just me and her in a scene. And all I had to do was jog past. But obviously we had to do the scene so many times. Yeah. And it was the hottest day of the year. And she was like melting. And everyone was like rallying around her being like, Olivia, are you okay? And she was like, guys, I'm totally fine. I'm having a fabulous, like, look how sunny it is. And then she'd be like, so anyway, tell me about your daughter. Didn't she go to university? And she was just like so humble and kind and warm. And then she came over and thanked me at the end, and I was like, it's the best birthday ever.
Did you get a selfie with her as well? Or?
No, it's unprofessional.
Oh,
Can't do that. Yeah, no.
Oh, fuck.
I wouldn't
I
do
suppose
that.
they do say you can either be a fan or a friend, I suppose. So if you want to be a friend, you don't do that. But if you want to be a fan, you get a selfie. But
Yeah, I mean, you're not even really supposed to have your phone
fair
on
enough.
set, you know what I mean? So,
I love that though. I love it. Have you met many other like famous people that you were like really buzzing when you met them?
I've met so many famous people.
Go on then.
Like,
give us your
so many
favourites
that
if
it's
you've got.
absolutely ridiculous, because you know what, this one time I get another muggle job, and I was working at Soho Hotel in London, which is really like a hidden spot, and they do a lot of the press junkets there. So I was part of the press junket team. So that's, you know, like when you sit down, you're interviewed about like your film, what you're doing, whatever. And this one time I was tasked with looking after Pablo Pascal.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Pappy Pascal.
Stunning.
He is a lovely man.
He's the nicest
I feel like
man
he's in
ever.
everything now, and might get bored of him, but I do really like.
Oh, he's the best. He'd be like, so I'd have to knock on his door and like give him his food and whatnot, and pick up like dirty trays or whatever, and he'd be like, always, I'll do it. And so I'm having Pablo Pascal do my job for us, walking the dirty trays out of the room. I'm like, am I okay? Like, what's happening here?
He is a good man. Did you see him in what was he in recently? Gladiator 2? You see him in that?
Can I tell you
was really-
something about Gladiator 2? Me and Eddie tried to watch it and we fell asleep, but I think we were just really tired.
Did you like the first one?
I love the first one.
Yeah.
No, I really, really want to see it because we did the Gladiator 2 press junket.
Oh, okay, nice.
And so I actually made friends with another guy who I think he plays the bad guy in it.
Okay.
Can't remember his name. But
Was
yeah,
it
he
Paul
was
Mes-
staying in
Paul-
the whole.
No, not Paul.
Not
Mes-
Paul
the guy,
Mescal. He plays
the
like the
bad guy?
nasty guy.
Who was the bad guy in that? I can't remember. We'll have to look that up.
Yeah, but he was staying in the hotel at the same time.
Nice.
So I'd always go in for chats with him.
Well, you also have an uncredited. I don't know whether it's uncredited or what you call it in the acting world. Shows how uncultured I am. But you have a connection to Boiling Point, which is one of my. I love that film, and I love the TV show with Stephen Graham as well, all about the restaurant. So tell me about that experience. I'm guessing you got to meet him, right?
Stephen Graham?
Yeah.
No. And I'll tell you why. So Boiling Point, it was actually, that was like one of the best experiences of my life in terms of nothing had been done like that before. It was one film in one take.
Yes. Yeah.
So it was choreographed meticulously, like to the T. And so it was sort of kind of like doing an actual theatre show. And I think that's why, even though, again, it was like a supporting artist thing because it was lockdown, he allowed for the credited roles, because how it happens on IMDb, it has to get signed off by their production team. Otherwise, they're like, no, who the hell's that? And anyone could be saying I'm in this.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's actually so kind that they've allowed me to have that on my thing, because I think, you know, Philip Barantini's all big for the working class. He loves it. Look at who he works with. Like Sam Fender does his music videos, and Stephen Graham, they're tight. And I think he understands like what that can do for somebody's career, just having that on.
Yeah.
But wow, it was, you know, you have to walk in now and sit on your seat, and you could see the camera was like, it was all so choreographed so seamlessly.
Is it hard not to watch that go past when you're meant to be acting, in case you're in the background just staring down the lens of the camera?
Because I'm used to it now. See,
Fair,
you're
yeah.
like talking to your camera, but I'm like, it's not there.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I do, like, obviously now I'm like looking down the lens, like, sometimes I do that because I kind of like the audience to feel like a third person in the conversation.
Yeah.
But obviously on screen, unless you're doing that breaking the whole fourth wall thing, it's like,
See,
you
for
don't
me,
look
it's
down the lens.
taboo. Shall I look at it now?
If you want to. Does that feel weird?
So weird. Hi. You
now you're
can
like,
tell she's never on TikTok.
I love it. But I did really like... so for the fact that it was all shot in... It's basically one shot, isn't it? So, like, do you have to sit there the whole time it's filmed? Or are you just in that, like, just in that booth or whatever you were in? Like, what was your role in it? Because you were like a patron, weren't you?
Yeah, I was a patron. If you look really carefully, I'm sat behind the nasty food reviewer.
Okay, I'm going to have to go and watch it now. Yeah.
So I'm sat there. You see me for like 0.2 seconds.
Do you watch the things you're in?
Sometimes no. Yeah, sometimes. I mean, like now, obviously, yes, because I like to see my performance and I have to put it on my show reel so I can get more jobs. But yeah, sometimes no.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like to, because obviously that was something that when I started making YouTube videos, I did not want to watch myself back. I was like, I hate the sound of my voice on it. Like, I don't like how I look. Like, my hair, when I had hair, I was like, my hair's in the wrong place or whatever. And it was like, but now I'm like, I'm just used to it. It's just, I know that's me. That's what I sound like. That's what I look like. I just crack on with it, you know?
And also, like, you never know what's going to make the edit, though.
Yeah.
Also, so it's like, for example, when I did Fisherman's Friends, I had to quarantine for like a week, again, lockdown, for my role. And we shot a few scenes for my role, and then none of it made the actual final edit. It's on the cutting room floor, as they say.
Was that quite a gutting feeling, though, doing all that and then having a cut?
It's just the name of the game.
True.
Like, you get used to it, and it's how they want to spin the narrative in the edit.
Yeah.
So you've just got to be open to that. Like,
I'd be fuming me, because I've done a couple of music videos, and like when I've done the edit and stuff, and I'm like, I really like that scene, but it doesn't fit in. I'm like,
yeah, that's
I have to cut it out. I'm like, oh, I really like that bit, and I've got to take it out. But yeah, I get it.
That's the thing. Like when we were doing show reels and you're doing an edit, and you're like, my acting's so much better in there, but I can't put it in because my hand moves differently, and I need it to correspond to the shot before.
It's that meticulousness as well, because we were talking earlier about the way I am with the cameras and stuff, and I'm always like, Carla, let's get the cameras right, let's do this. And it's like that level of detail would stress me out to no end. Like, it's fine here because it's 2 cameras, but when you deal with people, it's the people that are the problem, I think. Like, they're the ones that you like, the cameras can be in slightly off position or whatever, but like when the people are, like, if their head's turned the wrong way or whatever, you don't get the right light, that's when it goes to shit. So yeah, it's a hard job. People are like, would you go camera crew? No, I wouldn't.
Well, it's a script supervisor's job, babe. Like, imagine you get told off by them all the time.
Oh no. I don't think I could deal with that. I think there was a thing about in the news actually about Tarantino recently, who is doing another film with Brad Pitt, and apparently Brad Pitt called cut on one of the scenes, and Tarantino was like, you don't call cut on my fucking. I was like, oh.
Could you imagine?
I wouldn't fuck with Tarantino. Like,
I
would
wouldn't
not fuck with Tarantino.
Apparently he's like brutal. He just keeps working and working.
But his films are really good. I do like a lot of them. I wasn't a fan of Kill Bill, weirdly. It's the only one that I'm not a huge fan of, but I love like Inglourious Bastards.
Yes.
And what else? Django is one of my favourites.
Yeah, Natural Born Killers.
Yeah, all good. What was the one where he did with Who Were the Feet? Where he made he wrote the scene. Carla, you'll know what I mean. What's the film?
Who am I famous?
No, he does it with what's she called, man? And he has like a feet, and he drinks the thing off her feet, but he wrote the scene just for him. I've not seen that. We'll search it up. But it's he wrote a scene in this film. I can't remember. I think it's like a vampire film, and it's basically like he gets dressed in like a bikini or something on stage.
Yes, Dust
Till
Dawn. That's the one.
Yeah. It's just like, that's all I think of him now. Is like he's got a feet thing. But I want to go back to a little something you said on the phone as well. You mentioned about elitism in the arts, right? Which isn't something I'm familiar with. So you'll have to treat me like I'm totally dumb. And that it's really difficult for working class people to sustain a career in it, which I find really interesting. So fill me in about that. Well, why do you take issue with that so much?
So because I think working class people have got a lot to give, and I think a lot of art is born from struggle and strife, which is something that we know very well. And I think creativity is a byproduct of struggle. And when you go to drama school, for example, you have to get a train down to London. First of all, how much does that cost? Then you've got to pay. You actually have to pay for your audition. When I was auditioning, it was £50 per audition. If you're auditioning for 10 drama schools, that's what, 500 quid?
It's a lot of money.
Yeah. Where's this money coming from?
Yeah.
We can't feed ourselves sometimes up here. I mean, look at it now. You do a 40-hour working week. Once your bills are out, sometimes you're like, I've got nothing, literally nothing left. Then also when you're there, it's the fees. So when I did my master's degree, your master's loan doesn't even cover the cost of your course. Okay. So then I had to make up the rest of the money. So they'll only give you like, I think it's like 11 grand towards your course. My course was like 14 grand. So where am I getting the other 4 grand from? I'm having to work for it, right? If I'm having to work for it, then I'm not working on my craft. Which then puts us on a back foot again. When I actually go there, it's tube fare, it's living costs. it's living in London when
Which
you're
is
still on a
steady.
different wage bracket.
Yeah.
So it's all that kind of thing. And also the fees need to be paid.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was there, I remember very specifically people going, oh, I can't wait to get my student loan in so we can go to the pub. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah. So all their student loan money, £11,000, was going on going to the pub. So their parents were obviously paying for their fees. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I've had to save up and graft for a couple of years to be able to afford to go. Now I'm still having to work.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still so expensive. I had to take out a credit card because it's like, sometimes it's £12 a day on the tube.
Yeah.
Just to
it
get
all
to
mounts
school.
up as well. You think, £12 here or there, but no, it all mounts up.
So I'm getting in debt, and their families are able to make sure that they're not in debt.
Yeah.
They're also able to like not have to worry about work, not have to worry about food because that provided for and looked after.
Yeah.
And then I'm still having to do all of that plus my studies, plus all my homework. It's
a lot, especially with, I think anything that you're trying to make. If there's something else that you've got to do, a job or a side hustle or whatever, that eats so much time and energy, and then it's like to then have to learn lines or to get to make it to auditions to organize your life in such a way. People don't know what that's like. For most people that just go to work, they come home and they can do whatever they want afterwards, whether it's around the house or whatever. Fair enough, it's a bit of graft, but like to actually have to do the housework, work, and then auditions and learn and stuff, it's just most people couldn't comprehend that, like, at all.
work like a 40-hour week, just to keep your head above water.
I mean, I'm not trying to jump in on that too much, but with the podcast work and stuff like that, the edits take ages. I've got to go through and decide what the clips are, and then Carla's got to do the edits as well, and it's a lot behind the scenes. It's not just turn up, chat, and then it's done. There's a lot behind it. It takes up evenings and stuff like that. That could be doing something else or whatever. But so I kind of understand, but it's like, I think what you were saying earlier is that level of work and not being raised with a silver spoon gives you that ability to play those sorts of characters and to put yourself in that headspace because you've been there to
you get a lot more lived experience.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the really great actors have had a bit of trauma in their life. Let's all be honest. Yeah. Exactly. Also, get on Patreon and help them out, please.
Yeah, I'm actually on that. I should be. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
I've never made any money from this. But I would love to. But the only thing is, I'd love to make like some money from the podcast or from interviewing in general. But the problem is, I hate adverts with a passion. So I'm like, I'd have to get a sponsor and I'd have to advertise it. And I'm like, I don't like that because I've heard so many podcasts. But I know that's the way the world works. But I'm like, part of me is like, I don't want to be like midway through and just be like, do you have erectile dysfunction? Use these. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to do that.
Although that would be hilarious to listen to you do that.
Just midway through, I'm like, do you have... Suffered an injury at work, that wasn't your fault. Yeah, but I like to keep it from start to finish so people can listen through, and I think that's why people keep listening, because they're like, there's no adverts in this, I'm not disrupted, I'm part of the conversation. But we'll see, maybe one day if the money's good enough. But I'm curious because obviously this sort of acting career and anything in creative arts is up, it's down, it's up, it's up, it's up, then it's down again. Like, what keeps you going through the roller coaster of this type of career? Like, how do you manage that?
So, for example, if I had an audition, I just audition, and then I'm like, forget about it. Go
back to life.
That's the healthiest way of doing it. And then it's like, if you get it, because you can't change the outcome.
True.
You're really good for the part, like, it's either yours or it's not yours. Mm-hmm. And, like, you've just got to think, for every no that you get, you're closer to a yes.
Did you get many mo's?
I get mo in Movember.
I think you look great with
Am I getting a mo? I don't know. Probably. I am of that age. You know what I mean? The thyroid's not what it used to be.
It's funny you say that. I used to know a woman in the village where I grew up who had a beard, actually, and it was hard not to stare at. So.
Oh, it happens. I was talking to my mum last night. I was like, Mum, you know what? I think it's the thyroid. She was like, okay. Why are these big conversations? I used to be young and cool. Now I'm at a rugby presentation with 14-year-old boys talking to my mum about my thyroid problems.
It happens. I've been talking to my dad about bad back problems, man. This is after as soon as I turned 30, I had a leg problem and a back problem instantly. 30th birthday, it all just went downhill.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, now I've got to start doing yoga and shit. And I'm like, great. Like, I used to be healthy and fit. What happened to me? But so what is it? So in terms of the roller coaster, but was there ever a time when you thought, I'm gonna pack this in and do something else? Was there ever a moment where you were like, I'm gonna quit this? Like, it's just not working out for me.
I've actually been offered so many jobs along the way, and when I look back and go, oh my God, where my life could have been now. I would have been rich beyond my wildest
I would have been a
dreams.
Little Mix, goddammit.
Yeah. But it's like, honestly, my life's a little bit like Slumdog Millionaire. It's like I can piece all the things together, but it's added up to where I am now. So I know that I'm on a good trajectory. But this one time I was working for JP Morgan in their headquarters in Canary Wharf, and I got offered a job with their events team. And I swear to God, the starting salary, and this is like going back 15 years, my starting salary would have been 50 grand.
Nice.
Wow. You can't even get a 50 grand job up here now.
Yeah.
And
that's,
I said...
That's like life-changing amount of money, though. That's a life-changing
Isn't
salary.
it? And I was like, nah, I'm an actor.
Nice. I love it. Sticking to your guns. And now you're like, do I eat this week or do I shower? What do I do?
So I've lost 2 nails. When can I get them again? I'll have to wait at the end of the month.
But do you regret that decision looking back on it?
Nah.
I think you've chosen the cooler path, personally.
I think I've chosen a cooler path. Yeah. Have I?
I think you have, because you also have starred in Coronation Street as well, which is every show everyone knows. So tell me about that experience, because everyone's got like a story about Corrie at some point in their life, you know. So like, not that they've been on it, but that they've seen it, or like they remember a certain storyline or something like that. So tell me about that experience.
I love Coronation Street. It's so cute. Like, you go and then you see your pals, and then you like get your little pass and you go to the canteen and you have your noms, and then you go in hair and makeup, and everybody's just like so chill and chatty, and they're really welcoming as a team. And you have the best banter on set. Like, it's jokes.
Proper British banter, I bet, as well.
Yeah. Like, one of the DOPs was like, look at this, Libby, no expensive spade. Like, showed us the dummies in the bed, and I was crying, laughing.
How did you, because you were a doctor on it, right? How did you land that part? What was the process like for getting it? Did you audition or did you get sent?
Audition. So basically, everybody has an agent when you, well, if you're lucky enough to get an agent. And then your agent submits you for things, and then you get sides sent through, so which is literally the script, and then you have to record it kind of like this now. So you just audition as a self-tape, and then I managed to get the role. And then after that, because they trusted me and I did a good job, and my agent's got a really good rapport with them, then they would just invite me back if they had another similar role. So I've been quite lucky in that, because I've been back a few times.
Yeah, how many episodes did you do of it, do you know?
I think I've done like 5 episodes.
What's your character called?
She hasn't got a name yet.
I was going to say, because I couldn't find one, and I was like, I need to know this.
Yeah, because once you're named, then that's it.
You're a regular.
You're in Corrie.
You're in the lore of it, yeah. Was it a different type of pressure on that set? I know you said everyone was really welcoming, but obviously to go from, from the acting jobs to Coronation Street, that feels like a big jump, you know? Yeah,
the actors actually did say to me, they were like, I think you've done a really good job, because people come in sometimes and the pressure of it, they really want to perform. Yeah. So they make the characters too big. Yeah, they try and steal the scene almost. Or like they'll put too much emphasis on it, or try and make their role bigger than it is, or they'll they'll get starstruck by the people in it. Yeah. And they're like, you've just come here, did your job, had banter with the crew, and went home. And I was like, and I got me dinner. It was like the first thing you mentioned was like the scran as well. Like, what was so good about the scran on the set of Coronation Street? That's like the best memory from it. Oh, I just love the little man that works like in the canteen. He's so cute. I love that. Because I was going to say, do you have a favourite Coronation Street memory from set? And I'm assuming it's the food. I'm assuming you're just like, yeah, it's the canteen, yeah. No, everybody's just lovely. Really lovely. Like, it's just such a warm, friendly environment. Everyone's banter. They've been there for ages. Yeah. For them, it's like their job. It's like their 9 to 5. Yeah, and they just crack on, and everyone's happy because it's like, oh, I'm working, doing what I love. Yeah.
Did you have to learn a bunch of medical mumbo jumbo
Yes.
for yours? Like, was that difficult for you to do?
Not only mumbo jumbo, right? But literally, you get on set and they've actually got real doctors and nurses there to tell you like what's real, because people will write in and be like,
That doesn't
that
make
wouldn't
medical
happen.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they have one on set that like teaches you how to do. Babe, those blue gloves of my sausage fingers just are not a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Horrific. I was like shredding them. I was like, I think I need a large size. Have you got that? Yeah, and it's because you have to keep taking them on and off. And I'm trying to do my lines, and she's like, you can't touch your hands together. You have to touch only wrists. And I'm like, huh. SOS, that was the hardest part of my job.
Because you're not having to act like a normal human would, you having to also act like a nurse would, I guess, as well. Yeah. No, that's interesting. I never thought of that, actually.
And then they'd be like, when you dabbing his cut, you've got to do it like this. And I'm like, oh my God, you've got a really hard job.
I've just got to act like a nurse. You guys are actual nurses.
Big up NHS. I'll be giving so many people like sepsis.
You're starting the next Ebola outbreak.
Yeah. All right. What do you mean? It's good for his immune response.
Yeah, it'll be all right. I'll sewed it back on. It'll be all right. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess, but it'll put into a nice scar. I love it. So what space of time did that take up in your life? Was it like a year or two, like, or less than that? Or?
No, it's just every so often. So who knows? I might get a call back soon.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, I watched. I did find a few scenes of you doing that as well, and I did actually find it's funny when you mentioned the West End before, because I found an old interview that you did, where you actually said your goal was to be a lead in a West End musical. Is your goal now to be a lead in a film or a TV show, or has your goals changed a little bit?
I'd love to do that. I'd absolutely love to do that, I think, especially like given my background, because we are a diverse community in film and television. There's only like 8% of people in all the film and television are working class. And I'm also a woman. So to have a really well-written, 3-dimensional female lead, wow. Yeah, that is my dream.
What kind of genre would you want it to be if you were the lead in? Would you want to be maybe like a detective? Would you want it to be comedy? Like, what sort of genre would you go down? As the leading lady,
I love a drama.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we talking like a murder drama or like a sort of like family drama kind of thing?
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Like X-Files style, like Scully kind of vibe.
Mulder and Scully.
Yeah.
I do like a detective program. That is my casting, but I'd also like to do something that's like quite deep.
What about like one of the, because is it Harlan Coben? He does his books turn into a lot of drama sort of things on Netflix stuff. I quite enjoy watching them. Some of them are better than others, but is that the kind of vibe you would want at that level of drama, or dial it back a bit?
No, I probably want to work with like Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Okay, yeah.
I love her.
She's great.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I actually saw her in a film.
No, she directs and she writes now.
She's been in a
and
few
she produces.
Do you know what? Was she in Batman at one point as well, or am I making that up? I think she was in one of the Batmans as well, I think.
Don't know, but she's kick-ass. She's killing it. She's killing life. Anything that's on Mubi, put me in it.
Well, obviously, it's actually, speaking of producing it as well, so you created your own work as well as acting it, including Zemi. So talk me through that, because I went and watched Zemi on YouTube. I went and found it, and I found it very interesting and very well done. Not that I should expect it to not be well done, but
no, but some people do. My friends came and watched it and they were like, Libs, I'm not going to lie, I thought it was going to be shit.
When you hear like self-produced stuff, talk me through where did the inspiration for the idea come from, and walk me through that whole process.
Sure. So that was like our final project at Central. And our teacher at the time, Amanda Brennan, big up, I love her so much. She was like, look, it's not enough to just be an actor in this day and age. You have to be bringing something else to the table. Also, you have to be making your own work to survive.
Yeah.
Best words of wisdom you've ever heard, because if you look at film in the world at the minute, and if you look at where storytelling's going, we need independent film, we need independent cinema.
Yeah.
So our final project was you had to create your own film from scratch, no budget. You have to find the budget, everything. You had to do everything yourself. you had to be in the film
Yeah.
as a character, because obviously we were on an acting for screen course, but you also have to be one of the fundamental roles in production. So producer, director, writer, or you could be like production design or something like that. So obviously I was like looking around the room thinking, well, I don't trust none of yous to produce me film, so I'll be doing that then, will I? Because you have to be so hyper organised.
Yes.
There's like so many moving parts to it, and you're essentially responsible for everything. And then we paired up. I'd already worked with Dom, who's the director, in the first term when we had to do like a short film in the first term. We worked together really well, and him and Victor had already been kind of like bringing a story into fruition that we enjoyed. And then Emia was a really talented actor, and we wanted him on board with us as well. So that's how our little group was formed. So Victor wrote the story. He's from the Dominican Republic, so it was about his heritage and his identity. So the film's actually all about identity and race, and how we whitewash other people's cultures when you come over here, and who decides what race you are. So in his culture, he's from the Dominican Republic. Obviously, that was colonized by the Spanish. So he's like quite fair skinned for people from his, well, this is coming from what he's told me. For people from his culture. So they would say he was white. He came over here and everyone was telling him he was black. And so he was like, wait, who am I? Where am I? Like, what is this? And so the whole film is like about culture. And
because you were very sure to get it, you wanted to get that culture nailed on, right?
Yeah, exactly, because it's not my background, and I'm very conscious of being white, and I'm very conscious of what that implies. And so I wanted that story to be as authentic as it could be from start to finish. And as a producer, I think that's your main goal. It's not just high production value. What is the story? Does it have integrity? Have you allowed that story to be maintained throughout, and not like...
Yeah, you don't lose track of the theme of it.
Exactly. Or is it now just a demonstration of the director's skill?
Yeah. So your character was it Callie? Was that how you say it?
Callie, yeah.
And you obviously had the big red dreads and a Scouse accent, was it?
Yeah.
What was your character's role in that? For anyone who obviously hasn't seen it, what was your character's role, and did you write that part specifically for yourself?
So I didn't write. So I didn't write it. So Victor wrote all the parts. But the reason we chose her to dress like that was because she is she starts a conversation of, is it okay to appropriate somebody else's culture as your own? Because you want to, I don't know, put an image out. Like, where is the authenticity in that? And is that okay? Like, the question's unanswered, but that was what it was for.
That's what she represents. Got Nice, because it also won a national honour from the Dominican Republic as well, which is awesome. That must have felt great because obviously it's a lot of work, it's a lot of pressure, it's a lot to do. To get that award must have felt like yes, I did this justice. Yeah,
for me it was huge. Obviously for Victor it was like everything, because he wrote and he's so proud of his culture, and then for it to be celebrated and for him to be like, I've done such a good job. But then for me as a producer I was like, oh, yes, we did it. Like, it's authentic enough that they've said this is a film that shows our culture perfectly as it is in, what was it, 2022 at the time.
Nice, I love that. And it's a great film as well. I recommend everyone check it out, because I went and found it. The only thing I could find first was the trailer, so I watched the trailer and then I went and watched the film as well. And I didn't realize you were in it at first. Like, I didn't know you were in it, and then I was like, I swear that's Libby. I was like, I swear that's it. But I was like, the accent's
She's
wrong,
talented.
the hair's wrong. I was like, but was it a decision you also put on the accent, or was that Victor's?
No, it was my decision. Okay. Yeah, because we'd done a lot of, is it not? Something like Alfred. Oh, wow, my mind's just gone blank.
So that happened to me before, don't worry about it.
Yeah, we've done a lot of, like, embodying a character that's completely opposite of who you are. Like, that was part of the project. Mike Lee.
Okay.
How could I forget? I'm like, Mike Alfred's different every night. That's another acting book for you out there. So yeah, we've done a lot with Mike Lee and in getting characters so spot on and making sure like every detail of them is thought about and inherent in your body. And so I wanted a character that was completely also different from me.
Fair.
And it was really funny because we'd go to the screenings and nobody would know it was me.
Well, it took me a second as well. I was like, because obviously I'd been Googling you and searching, and I was like trying, obviously we'd never met before. So I was like, that's her. So I paused it when you came on and I skipped to the end for the credits. And then it has your name and I was like, that's her. I was like, I know. So I was like, yes, I was right.
I'm a real hippie deep down though. And I do have crystals, but...
How many crystals?
I keep that inside.
Do you have them all over your room? Or are they everywhere?
No, I have a specific room for my crystals.
You have a crystal room?
Yeah. It's like my little mental health breakout space.
Is there like incense in there as well?
There's incense, there's candles. There's lots of like wicker. What else have I got in there? Oh, I've got like a big salt lamp.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Nice, I love it. We, I've spoke to a lot of people that do like crystals and tarot cards and stuff like that. I find it fascinating, but it's never been something I could fully get behind. I think it's a man thing.
You look like you'd love a crystal.
Yeah, I know. I also look like I smoke weed as well, but I've never touched this stuff. My old manager at my old restaurant job, like, she was like, "You look like you get up at 10 a.m. and you smoke weed all day," and I was like, "Thank you, I appreciate that."
So rude.
It was.
Yeah.
But it was the relationship we had. I'd just be rude to her as well.
Everybody thinks I'm really preppy, but actually...
proper northern lass as well.
I'm well different inside.
I love it. Well, one thing that you mentioned to me, and I had to go away and Google, was... I'm going to probably butcher the name, because I didn't get it right before I practiced it, was the Bechdel test. Is that right? Bechdel. Thank you very much, Carla. This is why you're here, and you're the best. So, explain to us what that is, because I was quite fascinated when you spoke to me about that.
I love that Carla knew what it was straight away. Yeah. It's such a big thing in feminism. If you watch any film, right, so basically it's a way of quantifying or like breaking down a film to see how sexist it is, right? Or if the female character is written well, if she's a three-dimensional character, right, this is the easiest way of doing it. So it's got 3 points.
Yes.
I wrote them down.
So did I. That's good.
Stunning.
Did you know this would come up? Is that why?
Yeah, because we spoke about it. Nice. So point 1, any scene, it's like goes scene by scene. It's not just an overall film, right? It must feature at least two women in the scene. These women must talk to each other, and they must discuss something other than a man.
Yes.
Now, you go away and watch any Marvel film, ain't gonna pass one test. You go away and watch 90% of films out there, ain't gonna pass one test. So, what I did for my dissertation was, how has the Me Too movement impacted film production and the role of the female protagonist? And so I had to research all of this. I had to go away and watch loads of films. I had to learn all about feminism in film and the male gaze. And actually, realistically, it's done shit. What it has done is inspired a whole lot of women to be more passionate about working behind the camera as well as in front and get their stories out there. We have got the Sunshine Project, which is Reese Witherspoon and Nicole Kidman has got a lot to do with that as well. And that's their venture. So they get female authors, turn their stories into films, and it has to be well-written female characters and female-led, with a high majority female crew. So that's what it's inspired, but still, if you look at most popular culture films, no. All the women are there to serve the male protagonist's role in some form or another.
Now that I know this exists, though, now I'm not going to be able to watch films the same way.
No, it's awful. This is why I just watch reality TV and zone out.
It, you're like, oh god, yeah. But it is interesting though, because I'm like, now I'm watching it, and when you've seen the Marvel movies as well, I'm like, oh yeah, like all the women. In it. So when I was googling it as well, though, it was giving examples of ones that passed and failed and stuff, and someone had commented like, the Shawshank Redemption failed it. And I was like, well, it's set in a men's prison. I feel like the context also has to matter as well, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't judge it based on that if it's set in a male prison. But Do you think it's so? You obviously don't think it's do you think it's improving the way we're producing? Like, do you think women are getting a little bit more representation? I know obviously it needs to get more, but do you think it's improved in the last, say, decade or so, or do you think it's almost gone backwards a little bit?
This is like a question of much contention for a lot of women at the minute, because it seemed like it was going somewhere, but I feel like a lot of women in the industry are still fighting that battle and have said it's actually going back the way. And if I look at what rooms I'm in, it's still male heavy, massively male heavy, unless we've specifically gone, let's rally round and get all the chicks together in this creative space. Or if there's something like Screen Alliance North are really good at, diversifying their pool of talent and making sure it's equal opportunities. But in most rooms with most storytellers, it's men.
Yeah.
There's like a very large percentage men, and there'll be a few women, and the women do really, really well. And I think it's a confidence thing, because not only are women not in society, you know, allowed the confidence of a man. You know, there's that meme, I wish I had the confidence of a mediocre white man. They're also not given the opportunities, and then when they are given the opportunities, you walk into a room and it's kind of like the pressure's already on because you're an outsider. So then that's a solo journey when it's a collaborative art form, and there's still a lot of that in the industry actually, and it needs to not be.
Well, it's obviously being on the outside of someone that just watches films. It's not something you really notice. It's just something that exists, and then when someone points out, you go, oh shit, yeah. Because I remember reading something a few years ago, and it struck me, and I was like, oh yeah, like, that's a weird thing to do. So I was reading it, and it was about cartoon dads, right? And it was saying, like, all cartoon dads or sitcom dads are they're always stupid. They're always kind of dumb, like Homer Simpson, Peter Griffin. They're always kind of dumb kind of dads, or in sitcoms, they're a bit stupid. And when I was thinking of because you'd said about, like, women's representation, I was like, if you grew up watching the way women act in these films without proper representation, you believe that's what a woman it can only talk about men or whatever in society. It's the same if you look at these cartoon dads. Like, do you think that all dads or men are going to grow up to be stupid? I was like, if we could get that right from an early age, if we start giving the women, dads, whoever, the correct representation from the right writers and the right producers, I think we're going to see even a shift in how we see ourselves in society.
But there are things like Schitt's Creek. I absolutely love Schitt's Creek. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't
oh
seen it,
my god, it's the best.
Yeah.
And it's just like normalizes things like gay relationships, but it's not commented on.
Yeah,
it's just allowed to exist, and I think that's what we need to get to with. Oh look, there's a man co-parenting very well.
Yeah.
Not fulfilling, trad wife role, trad husband role.
Yeah.
Just coexisting, sharing the workload, and it's not commented on.
Yeah, I think that's the thing when they make a big deal out of these things in films or something, or really push it in your face. People, they back away from it. There's a resistance there. Whereas if it's just accepted as this exists, it's common, blah blah blah, and it's not mentioned or it's not a big focal point, then people just crack on with it.
Then it normalizes it. Yeah,
exactly. But I think a lot of these TV shows now get it wrong. They try and they're like, look what we've included in this, and you're like, well, I know it's there, I know it exists. Like, I don't need it in my face, but I'm happy for it to be in there, kind of thing. It's definitely. I saw something interesting as well. I want to get your opinion on this. So it was a thing that apparently TV shows now are getting written in a way where the audience has to be reminded of the plot every so often.
Oh, yeah.
Because people have a phone in their hands. And I was like, shit, yeah. Like, and people wonder what... Because I watched... Did you watch Stranger Things? Did you watch Stranger Things when that was out?
I watched season 1.
Yeah. So, obviously, it's just finished. And I remember I was watching the last season with my dad and my brother, because we were both watching it. And I was like, why do they keep going over the same things over and over again? And they'd have, like, a board laid out, and they're like, our plan is to do this and this. And I was like, well, I pieced that together mentally before you guys knew. But I was like, oh, yeah, it is showing people that we're getting dumber. Because I went back and watched Sopranos, which is a great show, and I recommend anyone watch it. But the difference between how shows were written back then and written now is massive. Back then, if you didn't follow
You
tough,
lost.
tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now you get reminded every 5 seconds of who someone is, the relation to someone, flashbacks. Da, da, da. Do you think that like that's a good thing, or do you think we're just regressing in terms of TV story?
No, it kills. It's death of the art form. Awful. No, it's not. How? I just have got no words. It's just no.
I miss
you
slower.
Can't write like this.
I miss slower television. I miss when they assumed you were smart. Now they just assume you're dumb when you watch TV.
Because
it's
you're
sad.
not listening to the plot. Like, but you know there is a market for that, and that it's like it's an ongoing battle between having something exist and work, and also maintaining the actual art of it and why it's there.
Yeah.
It's like that whole thing used to be on the West End. There was that forever debate about casting celebrities that weren't as good for the role to get bums on seats.
Yeah.
But if that celebrity wasn't in that show, would you have a job? And it's that circle of how do we navigate that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Stranger Things, I mean that right? I might have been like, oh, why do I have to do this? It's probably draining his soul. But also he knows, well,
that's how you
I
get
need
people
to
to
live.
watch it. Yeah. It's hard, does it? Because you're then playing catch up with everyone and trying to make everybody happy. But it's like, I feel like I miss it when, because I don't go to the cinema as much as I used to, and I'm asking myself why. But I'm also like, I don't find the films that are coming out very often that engaging anymore. I don't feel like I want to go and see it. I don't feel like I care enough anymore to see it. Whereas like when I was younger, I was like, even just 5 years ago, I loved going to cinema.
Yeah.
I loved that experience. But now I'm like, part of me feels like I could write this plot, myself sometimes. I know that sounds quite arrogant, but especially with like rom-coms and things like that, like, they follow a trend. That's true. Yeah, like they're gonna meet, they're not gonna like each other, then they're gonna get on, then they're gonna date, then something's gonna happen, they're gonna break up, and then years later they go. That's like the typical trope of it. But I feel like I really love films that break that completely. Like we're gonna watch Shutter Island later because you've never seen it.
Have you not?
No,
you're gonna love it.
But Carla's introduced me to some of David Lynch's films.
Yeah.
Have you seen many of his films at all? So I'd only seen Twin Peaks, which I found batshit as fuck. I still don't understand it now. But but like these sorts of films that really break away from the norm of storytelling are missing now, but they don't get bums on seats. It's the generic cliche. Boom, action, boom, this, plot this. It's like, that's what gets people sat down.
They're very like art house films.
Yeah.
Do you know?
We're getting dumber when it comes to TV shows and movies, I think. Like, even, I'm a big Star Wars guy. And at the minute, there's a new Star Wars movie out, The Mandalorian and Grogu, which you had to watch 3 seasons of a TV show to understand. I'm like, why did you make a movie on that? It's just to make money. There was no reason for that to be in cinema. And that's a judgment on me. Fight me, Star Wars fans. There was no need for that to be a film.
Oh,
but
at me.
Yeah, fight me in the comments on that. Mandalorian and Grogu should not have been a movie. It should have been the next season of a TV show. But speaking of producing and stuff like that, obviously to make more movies, it helps to be in part of a production company. So you have Nana Peg Productions. So tell me about the decision to start this up. Tell me about where the name came from as well.
So I was actually talking to one of my pals when I was in London. We're just going for breakfast one day, and he's got a couple of like successful companies he has. Just Had Milk Jam, which it's really great. It's aimed at working class actors, getting them in the industry and giving them opportunities that they wouldn't have. It's such a beautiful organisation. And so Christian Wall, big up, he was like, why don't you just make your own? And I was like, oh, I couldn't do that. He's like, yeah, you can, Libby, it's easy. I'm going to sit with you now and you're going to go on Company's House and you're going to register your company. Do it now, now. And I was like, okay. I was just, eat me little Turkish breakfast, but I'll get on that immediately then. And then that's what I did. And I was like, well, if I'm going to name it anything, it's going to be after me Nana. I quite knew that I wanted to call it Nana Peg.
Love it.
Yeah. So then that was that. So then Nana Peg was born, and with the initial idea of, if I'm not working, I want to be making films myself. And also I had the bug for making films.
Yeah.
From off the back of Zemi, and then I was, involved quite a lot with Central, the school that I graduated from. They would do final projects as well, and I was quite involved with somebody's big final project. I actually produced and directed that one for them.
Yeah.
And then I was also involved in the production team of doing the other short films for the for the course, so I was just like loving the buzz of it and being able to make something tangible at the end. So that's why I made Nana Peg. And also I really wanted to give myself a job and put myself in it, so there was that as well.
It keeps you tidying over between acting jobs. Yeah. So what's the ultimate goal with it? Like, obviously to make your own films, but what is the more behind it than just let's make more independent films? Like, what's the heart and soul behind Nana Peg?
It's become more, actually. I just want to really represent our community in that it's so underrepresented. We've got no Geordies on TV. It's also, I talk about normalising things a lot, but our accent, it's not normalised. And I got so annoyed with like people asking where I was from. Yeah. And if I was Scottish, if I was Irish, well, you're not English. And I'd be like, I am. Yeah. I am English. And they couldn't just place where I was from. And I was like, and that's a lot to do with education and representation in the media, because everybody knew where Brummie was from. Everybody knew about the Scouse accent. And as soon as I said, big football team, they would know Newcastle. Yeah. Sorry, Mackhams.
We are very close to the Mackhams right now as well.
I know, and they're doing really well, actually. Yeah. It's thought of good things.
Not that I'm not a massive football fan, but I hear the rumours between each one. So I know who doesn't like who. That's as far as it goes for me.
Oh yeah, well, because they're close, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I also thought about our culture up here. It's very specific and it doesn't get spoken about. And we've got all the vast history of like shipbuilding, fishing, mining. And nobody talks about it. Yeah. There's nothing. Literally. We've got Catherine Cookson and that's it.
Yeah.
Where are our stories? If you think about fishing, everybody goes Cornwall. Yeah. But we've got such a big history of it.
Would you think that's a goal of yours? Would you want to make a film that's entirely centred around the Northeast and obviously has Geordie actors in it, but it's about the heart of Newcastle? Would you like to tell that story?
Yeah. My ambition is local stories with a global appeal.
Got it.
Because I believe that, humanity is a global thing. I'm getting hippie again.
Get up.
And your experience will be shared, even if you're from a different culture, a different background. Humans go through the same toils and struggles. Yeah. Like on a global basis. And I believe there's stories that people will support or identify with. Mm-hmm. Even if they're from a different corner of the world.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Plus we're friendly up here. We're lovely. We're known to be really friendly as well, the Geordies. But it's weird, like you said, because I used to get mistaken for Irish as well, and I'm like, what?
Well, you are ginger.
That is true. Yeah, if I had a top hat, I'd look like a leprechaun. Yeah, I'm not the tallest bloke either, so I'd probably fit in well.
Yeah, how tall are you? I didn't pick up on that. Well, let's not ask because Tinder.
Either 5'7" or 5'8". I'm around that.
Ah,
sort of height.
that's so like me.
I'm not huge for a guy. Like, yeah. I can't remember. I had a guest actually came in, and it was funny. I can't remember which one it was. It was like, I thought you'd be taller. I was like, thanks, bro. Appreciate that.
Rude.
right now.
I've just got great energy.
I was like started wearing lifts in my boots since then.
Yeah, but you know what? Dancers do this all the time because they always want the tall chicks. Yeah. So you used to have to lie about your height always. My friend used to like make sure our bun was on the top of her head so she appeared taller.
Yeah.
Clever. Or wear like the higher heels so you're not alone.
Yeah. Do you know what it is though? Height's never bothered me though. I think the only thing that's ever bothered me was my weight. Like I was more bothered about how if I was a bit bigger. Or skinnier than I was tall because I could change, one I couldn't, so it didn't phase me anymore. Like, I could get that surgery, break your legs and make yourself a few inches taller, but it's never really bothered me. No, it's sometimes it's nice to be a little bit smaller. You get more comfy on the sofa. You don't take up as much room. There you go.
And also, you're not small, mate. 5'8". I used to be 5'8", but I think I'm like 5'7" now because I've definitely got a herniated disc.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Shit. That's not a good thing, is it?
She's getting old.
That's not a good thing. You said it with pride there.
I measured myself and I was like, and me and my friend Chloe always have this battle. I was like, Chloe, I swear to God, I used to be the same height as you. And she was like, no, you've always been small. I was like, I am not small. I am tall for a chick.
Always realised I was at Colla's wedding reception and stuff like that, and I was standing next to everyone, and I'm like, why are all these dudes fucking like 9 foot tall? What's going on here? But I got asked actually. I was like, would you? I got asked the other week, would you ever lie on dating apps about your height? And I was like, absolutely not. I was like, it's not worth it. It is not worth lying about your height on dating apps. Guys, do not lie about your height. You will be found out. Or it was the other one was cap fishing instead of catfishing.
What's
so
that?
So it's where if you're bald or balding, you wear a cap in all your pictures to hide that you're bald. It's called cap fishing.
All right, I've got a funny story about that because my fitness coach.
Okay.
He didn't have his cap on once, and I didn't know who he was from behind.
Weird, isn't it?
And I was like, "Oh, she's got her head out today."
Well, I've wore a cap a couple times on the podcast because it just looks cool and I like it or whatever. But then I'm like, if anyone sees that episode and then sees another one, they're not going to know it's me because it hides.
Listen, chicks dig a bald head, I think.
But bald is cool, balding is not. That's my rule. If you have like the hair around the sides, I don't think it's a good look. I think if you're going to be balding, commit to the whole shebang, you know.
I don't mind a bald head.
I love it. I always loved Jason Statham was always my inspiration. I loved him. I think he's the most handsome man alive. Anyway, totally off track, but I have absolutely loved this episode today, Libby, so thank you for coming in.
Thanks.
But I have one final question for you, which I ask every guest that comes on, and every guest answers it differently. And it's quite simply, do you consider yourself a success? Simple question.
That's
deep.
not a simple question,
It's simple,
babe.
but it's not easy.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Do you want to expand on that?
Right, this is really bad. But when
That's
I
fine.
was 16, I thought if to be successful, I had to be as successful as Britney Spears. At 16, that's problematic.
It's a goal, I guess.
So now I have to actually work on a lot with my therapist. Everyone should go to therapy, highly recommend. Making goals that are like achievable and building up to the bigger goal and not being like beating yourself up when you can't smash that big first goal.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I'm still working with that mind frame of when will I think that I'm going to be successful? Because then I've got the personality type where even if I did do a big film, I'd go, I'm still not successful. I need to do this. I'm still not successful.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of being grateful for where you are in the moment and taking stock of like, sometimes it's nice to look back and take stock. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really hard question.
That's why I end on it when everyone's warmed up.
Do like it.
Because, well, to be fair, because we've seen through your journey. I mean, obviously there's bits that we've missed out and stuff like that to fit it all into this because you can't sum up someone's entire life and career in like an hour and a half, whatever. But when I like to take guests through looking back because then by the time I ask that question, it's fresh in the head of what they've done and they've gone through. But even for me, I'm kind of similar to you. Like, if you asked me if I was rich and I had a successful podcast, I'd still be like, there's something else left for me to hit. Like, but I think it's important to be happy with what you've got, but still strive for more at the same time.
Yeah.
So be happy with what you've got. Not so much content. I think content stops you in your tracks. Like, well, I'm content here. I'm happy to stop. But I always viewed it like life is like a bit of a muddy mountain. So you're constantly walking up, and if you stop, you slowly slide back down. That's kind of how I view it. So I'm like, I want to keep going. I'll be happy with where I've reached to, but I'm still going to keep going. Otherwise, I know it's just going to slowly come back down. That's my view on it.
No, you won't slide back down.
If I think it's easier to keep up than it is to catch up. So I'd rather keep going, keep up with what I'm doing, than fall behind and then hardly try and catch up to where I was.
But what is falling behind?
For me, well, I think it's probably different for everyone, but for me, it would be like I'm not booking in episodes, I'm not recording enough, I'm not striving for new goals in my life, and I'm just sort of going, I'm happy with where I'm sat, but then I like that complacency would lead me to then not do a lot for months, and then months go by, years, and then I'm like, oh shit, like I haven't done this for
so it's more like holding yourself accountable. There's a fabulous book for that. It's called it's like on a yearly basis. It's called Hello 2026 Goodbye 2025, and it talks you through your life, if you like the life of your wildest dreams, like nothing's out the picture, write down how your life would look, and then it puts it in slowly, page by page, puts it in like quantifiable steps.
Okay, so it's more like a journal
to achieve
kind of
that.
Got it,
Then you have to do like check-ins every few months to see, like, hold yourself accountable to what have you done towards that, and I swear to God it works.
Nice.
So good.
Well, based on that, what is next for you?
What is next for me?
What have you got coming up that people could maybe watch or come see? Like, what have you got coming up?
So I'm doing a fabulous monologue reading of Arthur Mackenzie's work, which Steve invited me to do. So that's going to be at the Irish Centre in June. I think it's the 6th of June. It's on a Friday.
Nice.
All proceeds from that go to Age UK because it's all about dementia. And then I'm in pre-production on a few projects. I'm waiting to hear back from the BFI on some potential funding, which would really help, with what I want to do in the area.
Nice.
Hopefully getting a nice little office space for Nana Peg, which would be great. And then I'm also reinvesting back into like my acting work as well, because I went through a big period of going hell for leather with the production, kind of like neglecting that. So, just a lot more class. I've committed to travelling back down to London to work with my acting coach. And just
living the best life possible.
To all opportunities as they come.
I love it. And where can people follow you? Where can people find you on social media and follow your journey?
Cute. So she's not on TikTok because I just don't have the mental capacity for that. I know it's really bad for me industry and whatever, but it's just it's Libby Walker on Instagram, and Nana Peg is Nana Peg Productions, also on Instagram.
Excellent. Well, thank you once again, Libby, for coming down and taking the time to talk to me. I love that. How far? You're not far from me. You're like 10 minutes away. Because I've had people like
Where
travel.
do you live?
I'm in all the fucking Gateshead. So I Gateshead, but obviously I have this up in South Shields. So, but thank you for coming in. I've really enjoyed it. I think people are going to take a lot away from this, and I'm excited to see you in any upcoming projects as well.
Thanks so much for having me.
No, and the thing on the 6th of June was that because Steve invited me and you invited me, but it was the day of Carla's wedding and I couldn't make it. Is that what you were talking about? The production that's
in June?
Yes. Is that the same?
Oh, I thought you were already married.
No, there was something being shown.
Oh, he's already making these excuses why he can't go.
No, there was a preview or something Steve invited me to. It was on the 9th.
Oh, no, that was Steve's writing. Yeah, right, so I went to see that, yeah.
Oh, okay, right, got it.
It was really good,
I can't believe I missed it.
He's a talented
Imagine
little
having to go
writer.
to a wedding instead of going to that. It's
shocking you.
I know, terrible. Trust me for being a good
priorities.
But no, guys, thank you very much for listening. And as always, please rate the podcast. Whether you're on YouTube, give it a like. Whether you're on Spotify or Apple, give it a 5 stars. No 4 stars, right?
No, only 5. It's really good.
Oh, stop it. I'll blush. My ginger cheeks are blushing today in the sun. But thank you very much for listening, guys. And until the next episode, look after yourselves. And I will see you all very, very soon. Take care.